So favorite part when you ask me like, "Oh, girl, what you use on your hair?" Rose water. You'll be like, "That's it." Rose water. I don't even really use the bottled water because the bottled water is a little iffy to me. Shame somebody else, not me. Welcome back, everybody. It's your girl, Brandlyn Dermia, and I'm here with another video. Super excited to be back, you guys. I've been on like a hiatus, unintentionally so. You know, life been lifing, but I'm back. So if you are looking for a place to learn a lot more about travel or be encouraged and inspired in the travel that you're doing, I'm your girl. If you want to get a little culture along with that, I'm your girl. And a little lifestyle content specifically related to my Microlocs, I am definitely your girl. Super excited to have you all here today. Thank you for rejoining me if you're coming back. And if you're new here, click that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. You know the drill. So yeah, let's get into it. It has been 1 whole year since I've had my Microlocs. And to be fair, you guys, I'm super excited about even just being able to talk about it. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm going to cover some details, some of the early details. I got my Microlocs installed in London, United Kingdom. I flew there from Dubai. And I found a girl on Instagram and I really liked her work, contacted her. I had a virtual consultation. I showed her my hair, freshly blown out, not pressed, but just like blown out. And we talked about what Microloc maintenance looked like. She talked about me making sure I had somebody to maintain it. And she gave me a quote for my hair based off the installation type that I wanted. So I chose to get Microlocs installed by the two-strand twist method. So if you look closely, you can kind of see that it still has that twist kind of look to it in some of them. But a lot of them are starting to actually do their lock thing. But you can definitely see like how I started off as a two-strand twist. In the back, she just started two-strand twists from the roots and twisted all the way down. And in the front half of my hair, I have a braided base and then a two-strand twist. And that's just because you typically manipulate the top of your hair more or the front of your hair more. And so just to ensure that everything kind of stayed intact, she did a braid it down just a little bit and then did a twist. So two-strand twist method, braid down base in the front. I have in total, at the time of install, 355 Microlocs. These are not sister locks. Sister locks has a very specific grid. This is not that grid pattern, but I have Microlocs. So it's small. They're not the tiniest ones out there. They're not the largest ones out there, but they're small. I did get one at my last retie, which I had just a couple of days ago. She installed one new one. That's not it. That someone's been there. Let me see if I can find her. I thought I had her. Anyway, I have cowlicks. That's what I call them. They're cowlicks. Here it is. So I don't know if you can see her. But this actually is an extension. Only about this much of my hair is actually locked. But when I went to get my installation, this hair just wasn't long enough to be put in a lock. And where it's growing in at, it's just too much hair it's too much hair to go back a lock or to the side of a lock, because then it would mess up my grid. So she just established that as its own lock. Now, fun fact, she's tried to do this before with that little piece of hair, and the hair didn't like it. Okay, so we gonna see. And when I say it didn't like it, I mean it didn't fall out of my head. It's just that whatever she put in, it just slipped off. There was no damage to anything. But we tried it again. Here we are. We're back for another rodeo. But 356 now, but 355 at the time of install. I paid 100. Ooh, not 100. That won't it. That won't the number. That was not the number. I paid 850 pounds, which equals to about 1100 US dollars, just a little bit over. It depends on the market, depends on what day you're looking at it, but it's a little over $1,100. I will say it's been $1,100 well spent. If you think about how much money you spend on hair and products and all of the things, then 1,100 sounds like a lot for one sit down. But in the last year, if you spread that over 12 months, that's really what I've paid in my hair. And then you can contribute the reties, and I'll talk about the reties as well. But yes, 355 at the time of install, 850 pounds is what I paid. And I went all the way to London. That I did. Yes. So let's get into it. We're going to be doing a little bit of Q&A today. Questions that I get asked, not answered. Well, I do answer them. But questions that I get asked kind of frequently. And I just wanted to share some of those answers and responses with you. So let's get into this. So what made me finally commit to locks or Microlocs? Ooh, this was a 5-year decision for me. I know there are some people that are saying like they got into it maybe like in a year and a half. It took me 5 years to pull the trigger. I started looking at getting Microlocs in 2020. And I did all of this research. I found somebody. And then, of course, that was also around the time like we're sitting inside. And I'm like, what am I doing with my hair? Like, what am I supposed to be doing with it? And my best friend, who's also my hairstylist at home, we just kind of went back and forth. It was a ton of text messages. It was a ton of me reaching out to different people over the years. And then in last year, I just had a lot of life happening. I was going to a new job. I was going to be 40 by the end of the year. And I just felt like life was filled with swift transitions. So new chapter, new hair. And that's pretty much what we did. I had time from the summer break, and I was just like, you know what? I'll hop over to London if I can find somebody, and I'll talk to them. Let's see if we can get a consultation going, and hop another flight, see a new country while I'm there, and here we are a year later, and I want to be where you are, and I'm here. So, what did the first few months actually feel like? Oh, they felt a little rough. For your girl, they felt a little rough. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There are some people that don't want to call it the ugly phase, and I think that's fine. I don't think I call it an ugly phase, but I do feel like I had a major adjustment period with my Microlocs. So before my Microlocs, I had a hair plan, right? And I also had big hair. So I had sew-ins. And when I got sew-ins, it was always curly, so 3 to 4 bundles. If I had braids, it was down my back, halfway down my back to my butt. If I had a wig on, it was big, it was full. And so when I got my Microlocs, it's just all of that volume went like, pew, pew. All of the volume went away. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then everything that I read and everything that I listened to just was like, don't touch them. And I was like, if I can't touch them, then what am I supposed to do? Everybody's like, let them settle. Let them just find their way. Baby, I got to show up at these people's job, and I can't show up looking like this. Not like this. Especially when I think I had a wig on when I went to go interview for the job. So, it was definitely an adjustment period for me. And even in those first so I got it installed, and then I had like 2 weeks before I started my new job. And then that third week, I was like, golly, I can't go to these people's job looking like that. So I ordered some rollers, some heatless rollers, and I rolled my hair up. And I felt like it gave me just enough bend of what I needed. And I showed the girl who installed my hair, and she was like, don't do that no more. Stop touching your hair. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, it was a little wild, it was a little crazy. So I just had to adjust. I only did that for like a week, and then my hair did something different like the next week, and so I actually haven't been back to those heatless rollers since. So yeah, the first few months, like Month two was kind of like, okay. And then month three, I was like, oh, they're getting fuller. They're definitely getting fuller, but they were up by my ears. And that was also a new adjustment. And I'm a selfie queen. I'm the queen of a selfie. And I could not find my angles with the new hair, but we got angles. We got angles now. So yeah, super excited about finding my angles, but whew, first few months were rough. They were rough for your girl. What do I do for wash day, and what are tools that I use for maintenance? So I actually only wash my hair before retie, and I go 4 to 6 weeks for reties. I don't really do 4 weeks. I don't like 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I feel like nothing really happened. A lot be happening, but especially in new lock stages, there is a lot that happens. But I felt like we could do 6 weeks. The longest I've gone is 8 weeks. And I'll talk to you about how long I went in the very beginning. But on wash day, I use this product. Okay. It's called Way. Not Uwe, not Uwa, not Olehihu. It's Way by Jen Atkins. It's a detoxifying shampoo. I absolutely love this product. This is a travel size bottle, and the reason why I got a travel size bottle was because I just wanted to try it out. Now, I've had a couple of travel size bottles at this point, so I just need to buy a big bottle. Don't judge me. This is going to be I'm telling you a whole bunch of things where don't judge me, okay? We're family. We're friends here. We're family and friends. So let's just be family and friends without judgment. Fair? Fair. All right. So I actually used this bottle on my last wash day. And I used about almost exactly half. And I washed probably 3 to 4 times. Yeah, 3 to 4 times. So one of these bottles can give me 2 sets of washings, which is pretty good. I highly recommend, if you want to try it out, definitely do the travel size. It's up there with the minis at Sephora. Do the travel size for sure. Love this product. It smells amazing. It is important to note, I don't really have any scalp issues. I don't really add anything else to my hair. I haven't done any conditioner in a year. I haven't done any oils in a year. I've only done this shampoo. But I don't have any major scalp issues or anything like that. Absolutely love this. It says it's for all hair types. But yeah, great product. For regular, like weekly maintenance, I use a rose water. Now, I am a high achiever. I sometimes do too much. And so when people were like, oh yeah, I'm using rose water. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what's in the rose water. And it was like rose fragrance. And I was like, well, that ain't rose water. That's fragrant water. So to be fair, my loctician who installed my hair recommended that I use bottled water, not tap water, but she recommended I use bottled water. She said even for my hair for the install, she used bottled water. And so I was like, no, I want to use the rose water like the rest of the girls, but I just really, really want to use rose water. So I went on a deep dive to find this product. It is by Plant Therapy, and it is a rose hydrosol, which means it's rose water. Now you can see from the bottle, it's empty. We just got a little bit left. Absolutely love this product. It makes my hair feel so good. And when I use it, it smells so great. It's so light, and it doesn't leave any residue on my hair. Now, I ran out of this, and I have to get it shipped here. So I ended up using the current person who's maintaining my reties. She actually makes her own rose water. I actually do like her rose water. I like it better when she uses it for my reties. When I'm using it weekly, I feel like it leaves just a little bit of a residue on it, and I don't know what it is. It don't feel like this. But this is my go-to product. My backup product is hers, and I haven't had any issues. As far as products are concerned, that's it. That's it. That's all. That's all I use on my Microlocs. I don't use conditioners. I don't use oils. I don't use anything else. That's it. As far as tools, your hair tie. I've had a hair tie. I probably dropped it on the floor somewhere. But I had a hair tie just for braiding and banding. I am braiding and banding my hair because we're still new to this. not true to this. And so I have to braid it down, put a little band on the end, and then bonnet, of course, and then your occasional claw. I use claws, to pull hair out of my face when I'm doing things, or you know, just a little claw. I like this one. Ooh, I dropped that. I like this one, and it doesn't like grab, tangle, but it also some of them are. I need these teeth. You see those teeth? I need those teeth. I need those teeth. Because some of them look just like duck bills, and it just kind of be sliding down. But anyway, yeah, I use these just to push the hair back, hold it off my face, whatever you need. Keep a couple of these around, and then I also have like an edge protector. It feels like a towel. I love these little things. I use this for makeup, and I also use this for when I am washing my face. I am really into my Korean 10-step beauty routine. I don't do all 10 all the time, but the steps that I do, I don't want the product just getting in my hair. So I do wear this. And then my other favorite product is this towel. So when I went to London to get my Microlocs installed, I ended up stopping by this black pop-up shop. So cute, so cool. It was in Brixit. No, that's probably not right. Let me take that back. Don't know what neighborhood I was in. I know I had to take a train to get there. But the young lady who sells this, her company is called Lava Cap. And Lava Cap, she actually created conditioning caps during COVID. She started a business with conditioning caps. And you can go follow her story for sure. And she expanded the line to microfiber towels. How cool is that? And you guys, look how big this is. This is huge. It's so long, so long. And you don't have to get this print design. She actually has other print designs that were really cool. I just thought this was very Afrocentric, so I went with it. Part of the reason why I like a microfiber towel is that it absorbs the water very nicely. And then I had seen like some of the girlies on YouTube and TikTok, and they were just talking about how regular towels leave like that fuzz in their hair. And I was like, oh yeah, I would like to avoid that as much as possible, because they were saying like kind of once stuff gets kind of embedded in there, it's just like not even, yeah, it's not even worth, like, just kind of gotta leave it. And I was like, we don't want that. So anyway, when I came across her table and I saw she had a microfiber towel and black owned business, okay, I said, yes, I want one. Love this. Wouldn't trade it for the world. And to be fair, I actually haven't traveled with it, but it's really lightweight. And you saw how much material it was. And I didn't even fold it right, but it's very compact. Like it fits where it needs to fit. And I like that. So that's all the tools that I have and all of the product that I use on my hair. Yes, I am going through a bit of withdrawal because, as you know, black girls just have like a ton of hair products. I don't even use edge control, but I was not an edge control girly before. I did it when I had this half wig that I used to wear, but I'm not a big edge control person. And part of the reason I don't use edge control is I just don't want the product to be building up in my hair, especially because I like to go so long in between reties. Speaking of reties, I already told you how long I go. I usually try to go between 4 to 6 weeks. I don't like 4 weeks because I feel like, why are we back so soon? But 6 weeks is kind of my sweet spot. The longest I have gone is 8 weeks. Again, no judgment, people. We're friends and family here. No judgment. Okay? And this was just really this last time. I have not done that before. What had happened? What had happened was I kind of forgot that I needed to go get a retie. Sometimes when you don't have no place to go, you be like, I can look a little funky for a few more days. And when I looked up, it was like 6.5 weeks. And when I looked at the calendar, I realized, oh, well, my first year lock anniversary would be coming up. And so therefore I was like, I really wanted a fresh retie just for this particular video. And so I was like, well, maybe I can hold out the other week and some change. And so I did, and it became 2 months, and I would never do that again. My roots were hurting. My hair hurt. I don't even know if hair is supposed to hurt, but my hair was hurting. Even when she did my retie, I am not tender headed at all, have not ever been. But when she did my reties, I was like, ooh, why is it's up here? Up here. It felt a little different. So I was like, never again. But just to hold out so that we could have a fresh retie so you guys could see how crispy these parts are and what my grid looks like even a year in. Here we are. And that's where we'll stay. All right. Do I have any styles that I do? This it. This it. I got the flip over method, okay? What I actually have been trying to do, I have been working on trying to flip it to the other side because I don't want it to get so used to being on one side. And I just kind of want to I want the fullness to be even. So I've been trying to do my flips. I'm trying. It don't always work out. And these front ones don't really actually like flipping to the new side. So, yes. And then every now and again, I'll take my rings off to do that. Every now and again, I actually do pull it up. I have done like a little half up, half down situation. This is usually how we end up with a new hairstyle. This is about it. And then I really haven't been all the way up in the back for real, because I got some little baby ones back here. And I just kind of feel like once they start spiraling out, we just need to be down. Now, when I was getting ready today, I did something like this. And I said, oh, that's kind of, I might could do something with that later. So we at a length now where I might can have a low, ooh, yeah, like a little low pony. See, a little pony back there. I got a little bush in the back. So yeah, but other than that, I don't really do any other styles. And I'm really not interested in coloring my locks. Actually, the girl who maintains my locks, she has been like begging me not to color it. Actually, she started saying that, I think, the first time she did my hair. She was like, please don't color your locks. And I was like, why? Even though I had thought about it, but I didn't think about it this early on. She was just like, it changes the texture of your hair, and then things start to happen. Just let them settle. They're really beautiful. Your grid is beautiful. Just let your hair do whatever it's going to do. And I agree. So right now I don't have a dog in the fight for hair color. Next question. Okay. How did you choose your loctician for install in regular maintenance? So like I told you, I went down a rabbit hole, a really hefty rabbit hole for a few years. And then when I got really serious about doing it, I went down a deeper rabbit hole. I wanted to find somebody who was literally obsessed with Microlocs. Because to me, there are people who do Microlocs, and then there are people who do Microlocs. I wanted somebody who you do Microlocs. That's who I wanted. And so I was looking for somebody whose grid looked really great. I also was looking for somebody who had a really nice setup, because a lot of people do them out of their home, or they might have a style suite. And then I was also looking for someone who could get me in a rather short period of time, because some of the girlies be booked. Okay, they open their books a month in advance, and then they have regular clients, and then they have new clients. So that was also a whole thing as well. So I was looking for somebody that could do all of those things, and so I found the girl for the install. Originally, I really considered going to London. I considered going to Nigeria first. So a lot of it dealt with me catching a flight. Where was I going? How long was I going to be there? Was it going to be a trip and all these other things? Plus, I also want to get my hair done. Chose the UK because I had never been to Portugal, and at the time I was trying to reach 40 countries before I turned 40. And so ended up in the UK, and that was that. I love the person who put them in. It took us about 9 hours. 8 or 9 hours. I want to say 9 hours. I think I was there like 8 a.m. and then I was gone by like 6-ish or something. We took quite a few breaks. And yeah, I came in with freshly washed hair, twisted down, sat in the chair, and was out. As far in the middle of this rabbit hole, I knew I also would need somebody to maintain them in where I'm currently located. So then I went down another rabbit hole to find somebody for maintenance. Now, the people that I chose to do maintenance, there were two locticians I had kind of shortlisted. They were also considered to do my install. I just happened to like the girls' grid in London better, and I was just like, why not? Like let's do it. Let's go to the UK and get your hair done, girl. I'm down for that. So I found two ladies here to maintain my locks. The first lady that I went to, she's like an hour and some change away from where I currently live. And the reason why I chose her is because at the time my job was in that city. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go, I'll get my hair done. I'll schedule it on days that, I need to stay there. I went to her one time and we just didn't vibe. We didn't vibe. It was some things that happened during the appointment. She also had somebody else working on my head, and I didn't want that either. I have my own personal reasons. Some people have multiple people working on their head, and that's fine. It's just that even when you're training somebody, people's hands just do different things, and I want my head to look like nobody's going to get that close. I know that. You know that. They know that. But it's my head and it's my money. So, therefore, I like what I like when I like it, and I only want one set of hands in my head, especially if she is not the hands that is the content that you're posting. So when you send me things and these hands ain't did the things that you sent me, then I also have a problem with that. So the vibe just didn't vibe out. I chose this other lady who was 45 minutes in the opposite direction. No work there. Nothing is there except this lady. And I love her. She's amazing. She fits me in anytime I really need to be fit in. She's so sweet. I go to her house. She sets me up. We watch movies, all the things. It takes probably, when it's not 6 to 8 weeks, when it's more like 4 to 6 weeks, it takes her about 2 hours and some change. When it's 6 to 8 weeks, it usually takes us like 3 hours and some change. But that's the current time frame it takes me to get a retie. And no, for those of you that might be new to the Microloc world, there is a difference between a retie and a retwist. So my reties actually involve them like looping my hair inside of itself, and then like there's turns and ties to that, where a retwist is actually palm rolling your locks. I don't have a twist. I have a retie. And part of the reason I chose that over the twist is because of the softness and texture of my hair. I felt like it was just going to take a lot longer to lock outside of this process. So choose what's best for you. All right. What is the hardest part of the journey nobody warned you about? I think the hardest part of the journey that nobody warned me about, I would say doing old techniques and getting new results. It's crazy. So like one day I did like a 2-strand twist down, like, you know what I mean? Like how you twist like this, right? Like I call them my princess layers. My princess layers. I thought that when I did this, that's cute. We might have to bring this back. Oh yeah, a little sprig out. We might bring this back. Anyway, I did this. With a little things like that be happening. We're watching clothes and stuff. That's cute. A little 2-strand. Okay. A little down. Okay. New hairstyle. Unlocked. We'll run that out. Anyway, got off topic. I did this 2-strand twist down. And I'm thinking, when I untwisted, my hair was going to be curly. And it came out so straight, y'all. Like straight, not like my curls were gone, but the locks themselves were straight. Like I was expecting like it to look like a braid out, like a little wave. I ain't had no wave. So I think that's the hardest part, just figuring out like what old techniques, when you do them, like what do they create? I even saw this one girl who was telling me like she didn't braid and band one time, and because she didn't braid and band, she ended up, her whole head just shrunk up. And I said, oh, you won't get me. You won't get me, boo. So apparently the braiding band helps to stretch your hair, also protecting it from unraveling. Again, Old techniques, new results. It's a whole thing. What has been your favorite part of the journey? Ooh, my favorite part has just been watching my hair. I created my 1 year video on for TikTok and Instagram, and I was just like, so much growth happens in a year. I think sometimes, especially because you're not watching like one particular thing grow. Like when people have kids, you watch your kids grow, right? You watch them grow from little itty bitty babies, and they just get bigger and bigger and bigger to a point where you can't even really lift them up no more. And so you get to see that type of growth. But just to say, like, I started off with some stringy stuff going on that was just fuzzy and fluffy and just light and really won't go nowhere to today. I just kind of feel like, it's really been fun to watch the growth. The other thing that I've been really excited about is not having a hair plan. And I think I mentioned hair plans before. So if you don't know what I mean, I was the person, because I live in a very hot place, I was the person who had a plan for their hair. So I know what hairstyle is coming next. Like my hair has its own calendar for like the year. When I go home in December, I'm going by my best friend's shop. We gonna do the full workup. She gonna condition me down. She gonna trim my ends. She gonna do all the things, and then she gonna put me in a sew-in. And my sew-in is probably gonna last till March. That's always the plan. The plan is for the sew-in to last till March. Then when I take it out in March, I have like braids I usually let my hair breathe. So then I put it under a wig for like a month and some change. And then from there, that puts me in the summer months. So then we start looking at like braids down my back. And then from there, I'm back home over the summer. We do another sew-in. Then we do a wig. Then we might do a crochet. Like, my hair had a plan. And then I had a ton of product. Like, so favorite part, when you ask me like, "Oh girl, what you use on your hair?" Rose water. You'll be like, "That's it? Rose water." I don't even really use the bottled water because the bottled water is a little iffy to me. Shame somebody else, not me. But I do love this, and I have fallen in love with this shampoo. And I actually did want to get into making my own hair oils, but I'm still waiting I bought the oils from Plant Therapy. I do have a recipe of how I want to mix the oils up and all those things. And I bought the things that I need to make the oils, but my hair is just not in a place where it needs oils. So I've been holding off. And I don't think I need the oil. I want to be one of those girls with a little hair oil for their hair. But again, I'm trying to follow directions and not touch my hair. Fair. All right. What is a real moment that didn't go as expected? I feel like sometimes when I do like those ponytails, because my hair really wasn't long enough, but when I leave the house, it'd be sitting up, and then by the time you just get used to it. But the fun part about it is, I will say, is that I can just take it down and just fluff it out. So real moments with my hair happen. Twists don't work. Things that I have been trying to avoid is bobby pins, because like I told you, I be wanting to pull it up all the way in the back, but these little sprigs in the back, they don't be wanting to act right. So we just probably need to take this earring out too. But we just be going with it. I have used a bobby pin. Don't tell my loctician that. But I was trying my best not to poke a hole in my hair. So that's why I don't use bobby pins. I've been trying not to use anything that causes holes. My rings get a little funny. My hair gets caught on the most random of things. Like I'll walk by something and I'm all of a sudden connected to it. And that is a very real experience. I'm learning to take my rings off because they weren't getting caught at one time, but now they are. So all of those are real moments. And then last question. Woohoo! If someone is sitting where you are now or where you were a year ago, what would you tell them? I would tell them to pull the trigger. That's what I would tell them. Do it. Make sure you have a plan, and then make sure you have a backup plan. So like you have the person you want to install your hair, have 2 to 3 options for reties. even though me and the girl didn't vibe the first time, she is really talented. So if I ever have to go to her, I would. But I think you need a person and a ram in the bush. One person and a ram in the bush, just to keep maintenance up on your hair. And then I would also tell them that Microlocs are not no maintenance. They're low maintenance. So you still got to pay attention to your hair. You got to pay attention to what it feels like. You got to pay attention to if you're shedding when you're doing certain things. You probably should not be touching your hair as much as I'm doing it right now. But here we are. We're talking about it a year in, so I'm touching my hair. But yeah, and just know that, hair grows back. Hair is not permanent. You can always take these out if you don't like them, and you can always do something different. But I really do love my hair. I love it here. I am so glad I pulled the trigger. I did want to give you guys just a few closer look-sees. Let me move my little notebook here. But we are not fully locked, as you can see. This is a lot of curly bush here. This is a lot of curls. I do love my grid. I typically do not wear center part. I was going to show you guys what my center part looks like. I do have a center part. There's a couple of reasons. I have never been a center part girly. Maybe if I can get into it, I would, but it just I don't own it well. Maybe it looks good, but I don't own it well to me. Also, my hair is exceptionally thin on one side. It don't look too bad today. But on this side of my hair, it's much thinner than, this side is thinner than this side. You can kind of see. It's been like that all my life. It's just one side of my hair is thinner. Not thinner. Let me take that back. Less dense. That's a better word. Better hair term. It's less dense. But I do love what my hair is doing. There are some, I'll show you on this side. You see this one? Yeah. Starting to look like a lock. And then they also do this. I have some that are, you see, it has just a little bit of curl. There's one on the other side. Here's one that I'm like losing my curl completely. They kind of look like little buds at the end, little bud nubs. I call them little nubs. I probably shouldn't call them that. Would you see? Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. The length is real. I did a video the other day, my wash video, and however I had the camera angled, I couldn't I had to sit up so you could see the length. This is me holding my hair. So we're like bra strap. And then there's like really short curly cues in the back. So there's some that's not all the way down. And then I'll turn to the side. I'm trying to turn to the back. I have hair on my shoulders, you guys. Woo. You see that? The other thing I like is the grid. Looks really good in the back. I like that typically I can... Just want to show you the back. I'll talk later. Yeah, so I do love my grid. I've seen people do like the two little ponies. I'm not a two pony girl yet. For braiding and banding, I'll probably do at least about 16, I think. I have a wash video coming soon, if it's not already out when this video posts. But I do like 15 braiding bands. And I kind of go over it in there, but I just get like a small little group. And then I just braid this. I plait this down. Like so. Like this. Like this, like that. And then once I plait it all the way down, then I braid it off. Tie it off on the end with a hair tie. But yes, that's what I do for wash days. And then, yeah. This is what it looks like. I want to get to a point where I can, double flip. We're not there yet. When I double flip, this is what it look like. We like, okay, you want to work with me? And then by the day, it'll be like this one little in the front, Anyway, we're gonna keep growing with it. But super excited about all the growth, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any questions. If I didn't answer anything in this video, I'll be more than glad to catch up with you in the comments. Follow me on all things at Bramlin Dermia. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Or maybe I should have said subscribe, like, and share, whichever. As long as you click the button so you can get some alerts when I start putting these videos back up. Okay? I am back. Glad to be back. It feels good to be back. It feels good to have freedom in your hair. Okay? New vacation hair unloaded. Okay? I feel like it's year-round vacation hair, and I'm super excited about that. But I'm so glad that I had this time to get up with you guys. Please, please, please follow me on Bramlin Dermia on all platforms, and we'll be in touch. Love you real big. Love you real deep. Talk to you later. Bye.